Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's class. So, in the last class, in Maths 2, we were studying the topic quadrilaterals. Okay, let's quickly revise first, and then we will proceed to something new. Now, what is the meaning of quadrilateral? A closed-sided, a closed four-sided figure is a quadrilateral, right? And let us look at the type of quadrilaterals that we have studied. The first one was a very basic one, that is a square, which has all the four sides to be equal and all the four angles, they are right angles. Then we saw rectangles, that is a four-sided figure again with two opposite sides equal, right? And all angles are right angles, that's a rectangle. Next, rhombuses. What can we say about a rhombus? All sides are equal, all sides, or we can say two opposite pair of sides, they are parallel, and the opposite angles are also equal. That's a rhombus. Then we saw what are trapezoids. Trapezoids have only one pair of parallel sides, correct? And then we saw what are parallelograms. What are parallelograms? That is a quadrilateral which has two pairs of parallel sides. Okay. And then we saw the complete diagram or the interrelation of the different type of quadrilaterals, like they are distributed into two parts. First is a parallelogram and second is a trapezoid. Parallelogram, it has two pairs of parallel sides which are equal, and trapezoid has only one pair of parallel sides. Then we saw in parallelogram special forms, that is a rectangle. If all angles are right angles and opposite sides are equal and parallel, that's a rectangle. Whereas for a rhombus, we saw that all the sides, they are equal with two pairs of opposite sides. And a square has all these properties. A square will have all sides equal, all angles 90 degree, and of course opposite sides are parallel and equal. Okay, so that was about the interrelation. And then we started with exercise or practice at 5.1. For 5.1, we saw these four properties. Adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. So we saw four properties of parallelograms which were used to solve many problems, right? So for a parallelogram, the adjacent angles are supplementary. By supplementary, we mean that the sum of angles is 180 degrees, right? Then we saw the opposite sides, they are congruent or equal, right? Opposite angles, they are also congruent. And what can we say about the diagonals? The diagonals of a parallelogram, they bisect each other. What do you mean by bisect? They divide the sides, or the diagonals, they divide each other into equal parts. Right, so that was all about a parallelogram, the properties, the four properties. If I just draw a parallelogram like this and I name it A, B, C, D, then what can I say by adjacent angles? We can say angle A plus angle D or plus angle B. Adjacent angles are the neighbors, the angles which are next to each other, right? So the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degrees. So we can say angle A plus angle B equals to 180, or maybe angle A plus angle D is 180, or D plus C, angle D plus angle C is 180, or the last pair, angle C plus angle B is 180 degree. That was about the adjacent angles. Then the opposite sides are congruent or equal, right? So AB is congruent to CD and AD is congruent to BC. These are opposite sides. Likewise, the opposite angles, they are congruent. Opposite angles, the one which face each other like this. So angle B is congruent to angle D. This is angle D, and angle A is congruent to angle C. These are the properties that we studied in last class. Then we saw that the diagonals, they bisect each other. So what are the diagonals? These two are the diagonals. right? And they bisect each other means these two, they break each other into equal parts. So if I label this as O, that means AO is equal to OC and DO is congruent to OB. Okay, so this is how the diagonals, they bisect each other. Now, in addition to these properties, what we see today is the different tests for parallel lines. Okay, this is again a recap of your earlier class. All right, using these properties, we are going to study new properties. So let us revise the basics again. Tests for parallel lines. Now, what do we know about parallel lines? We know that when there are two parallel lines, what type of formations are there? Okay, what type of formations are there? There is, what do you call it as? There is a F formation, there is C formation, there is Z formation, right? These are the three type of formations. F formation is called as corresponding angles. C formation is called as interior angles, and Z formation is called as alternate angles, right? So we know these properties. We studied it in earlier classes. When two lines are parallel and a transversal hits them, these different formations are there, and these angles, they are equal to each other, or the sum is 180 depends on the property. Now we are going to study the reverse, the converse. Okay, so converse is if there is F formation, if there is corresponding angles, then we can say that the lines are parallel. So these are the three tests for parallel lines that we are going to revise now. Okay, so what are the tests for parallel lines? The first one is, it says if a transversal intersects two lines and a pair of corresponding angles is congruent, then those lines are parallel. What does this mean? This is the transversal here, P is the transversal, and it is intersecting two lines, L and M. Okay, and we are given that pair of corresponding angles is congruent. Now corresponding angles means the F formation. Okay, so check where do you see this F formation? This is angle 1, let's say, and this is angle 2. So if we are given that angle 1 is congruent or equal to angle 2, then what can we say? We can say that line L is parallel to line M. So this is how we can prove that two lines are parallel. If the corresponding angles are equal, then we can say that the lines are parallel. Okay, now what are the other F formations, or what are the other corresponding pairs? We can use, maybe I'll just quickly use a different color. There are 4 different type of corresponding pairs, right? So check, we can see another F formation over here, an inverted one. So maybe angle 3 and angle 4, right? So if angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, again, what can we say? Line L is parallel to M. Okay. Likewise, there will be 2 more pairs on the left hand side. So if you see, there are 2 more pairs. So like this, you can see there is an inverted F over here. So angle 5 and angle 6. Okay. Likewise, there is one more pair below. So that will be 7 and 8. Angle 7 and angle 8. So if any one pair of these corresponding angles, they are equal, then what can we say? We can say that the lines are parallel. So this is a test for parallel lines. If the corresponding angles are equal, then we can say that the lines are parallel. So this was one formation, F formation, that is the corresponding angles. Let us look at the second type of formation. The second one says if a transversal intersects two lines, P is the transversal and it is intersecting two lines, L and M, and a pair of alternate angles is congruent. What do you mean by alternate angles? Alternate angles is Z formation. Okay. Then what can we say? Then the two lines are parallel. So where do you see alternate angles? Suppose we are given that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So if we are given angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, what can we say? Then line L is parallel to line M. So what are we doing? We are looking at the converse side. Okay. Likewise, we can see there is one more Z formation. Okay, there are two pair of alternate angles in this case. So we'll use a different color again. Just check. This is the Z formation. So angle 3 and angle 4. Likewise, if angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, what can we say? Then again, line L is parallel to line N. So any one pair, okay? If any one pair of alternate angles is congruent, then what can we say? The two lines are parallel. Let us look at the third test. Here, if a transversal intersects two lines, P is a transversal and it is intersecting two lines, L and M. And if we are given that a pair of interior angles is supplementary, okay, interior angles, which formation? This is C formation. So you see there is a C formation on this side. So if we are given that angle 1 plus angle 2, if the sum is 180, supplementary, that is 180. If the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees, then what can we say? Then we can say that line L is parallel to line M. Likewise, there is one more C formation. Check, students, on this side, there is this C formation. So angle 3 and angle 4. If angle 3 plus angle 4 is 180 degrees, if this or this, okay, any one pair, that's completely fine. So if angle 3 plus angle 4 equals to 180 degrees, then what can we say? Line L is parallel to line M. Okay. So these are different or three type of tests for parallel lines. Okay. So if we have to prove that a given pair is parallel, if we want to prove that a given pair of lines is parallel, we have to use any three of these, either corresponding angle property or the interior angle property or the alternate angle property. Okay, please remember the names. So those were the tests for parallel lines. Now we are going to prove how a quadrilateral can be proved as a parallelogram. Any quadrilateral, if we are given a quadrilateral, how can we prove that this is a parallelogram? Like for example, if I give you so in case if I give you a triangle like this and I ask you to prove that this is a right angle triangle. How do you prove that this is a right angle triangle? If this is a 90 degree, or maybe if there is a Pythagorean triplet over here like this, then we say that yes, this is a right angle triangle. But if I give you a quadrilateral like this and I ask you prove that this is a parallelogram, how can you prove that this is a parallelogram? Right? That is the question. How can you prove that this is a parallelogram? What different tests can we use to prove that this is a parallelogram? That is, we are going to learn in this class. Okay. So there are few tests. There are 4 tests to prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Let us first look at those 3 tests. The first test says if a transversal, okay, this is for parallel lines. Okay, these are the tests for parallel lines. So there are 3 tests. If any one of this is true, then we can say that the lines are parallel. Likewise, for a to prove that the lines are, to prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, we have few tests. Okay. Let us look at them one by one. Yes, here. So these are the 4 tests to prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So either you prove that the opposite sides are equal, or you prove the opposite angles are equal, or you prove the diagonals bisect each other. Okay, or we can prove that the opposite sides, they are parallel and congruent. Okay, so these are the 4 tests of parallelograms to prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram, we can use any one of these four properties. Okay, let us look at the now all of these four, these are theorems. Okay, we should be able to prove them also. So let us start by proving the first one. Okay, the first one. So the first one says, if pairs of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are congruent, then that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, so given a quadrilateral, if the opposite sides are congruent, so we are given that in this quadrilateral, look at this symbol, this is a symbol of quadrilateral. So we are given that this is a quadrilateral and the opposite sides, they are congruent. Okay, so we are given that the opposite sides are congruent, that is PS is congruent to QR and PQ is congruent to SR. And what are we asked to prove? We are asked to prove that this quadrilateral PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, now how can we prove that this is a parallelogram? Yes, so for that we start with the construction. We start with drawing a diagonal, that is PR in this case. Why are we drawing this diagonal? So that the quadrilateral is broken into two triangles and we will prove that these two triangles are congruent. Okay, so the proof begins like this. We are going to refer to two triangles. One is triangle SPR, this triangle SPR, and the other triangle be triangle QRP. Okay, so we are referring to two triangles. Now we have to prove that these two triangles, they are congruent. Okay, so we are given that side PS is congruent to side QR, PS is equal to QR. Likewise, SR is equal to PQ. The opposite sides are congruent. We are given. Now, third side, that is the PR. We can see PR is common side for both the triangles, right? So write out side PR is congruent to side RP. This is the common side. Therefore, what can we say? Therefore, we can say that these two triangles, they are congruent by which test? By SSS test, side, side, side. All the three sides, they are equal. Okay, so by side, 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 these two triangles are congruent. Once these triangles are congruent, what can we further say? The angles are equal. Which angles? SPR, this angle is equal to angle QRP. Okay, QRP, this angle. All right, now you see this is which formation? Z formation. So by Z formation, which pair is that? That is alternate angles, right? Likewise, we can say angle PRS, this angle is equal to angle RPQ, this angle. Okay, so these two pairs can be proved by CACT, corresponding angles of congruent triangles. Okay, so we have proved that these two pair of angles, they are congruent. Okay, and now we are going to use which property? We use the alternate angles property. So we see that Z formation, the alternate angles, they are equal. Therefore, what can we say? PS is parallel to QR. Likewise, these other two pairs, they are also equal. Therefore, we can say PQ is parallel to SR. Since there are two pairs of parallel sides, we can say that this is a parallelogram. Okay, so how are we proving that this is a parallelogram? We are trying to prove that the opposite sides, they are parallel. And how did we get the opposite sides parallel? By using alternate angles. All right, so let us look at the remaining proof. Since these are alternate angles, therefore what can we say? Therefore side PS is parallel to QR. This is alternate angles test for parallel lines. Okay, just now we saw that. Likewise, we can say that the other two pairs are also parallel. Okay, similarly, these two pairs, PRS, angle PRS is congruent to angle RPQ. This is also alternate angles because of Z formation. Therefore, the other pair is also parallel. Okay, again by alternate angle test. So, since we have got two pairs of parallel sides, we can say that this is a parallelogram. So from 1 and 2, we can say that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. So a quick recap of what we did on this proof. We started with two triangles, right? We started with two triangles and then using three parts of the triangles, we said that the triangles, they are congruent to each other by SSS rule. Therefore, we got Z formations, two Z formations, okay, two pairs of angles which are equal and they form Z formation. Since there is Z formation, we can say that each pair is parallel, the sides are parallel, and we got two parallel sides. So two parallel side means it is a parallelogram. All right, so that is how we have proved this part. Likewise, let us look at one more proof now. The second theorem. If both the pairs of opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent, then it is a parallelogram. So again, we have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Okay, how do we prove that this is a parallelogram? Again, the same thing. Either use any one of these properties to the Z formation or the C formation or the F formation to prove that two pair of parallel sides are there, right? There should be two pair of parallel sides. If there are two pairs of parallel sides, then we can say that it is a parallelogram. Okay. Now in this case, we say that to prove that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram using the angles. Okay. So for angles, we should use the interior angle property. Let us see how to use that. We are given that in this quadrilateral, both the pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Okay, are congruent. Opposite pairs are congruent. This is given. And we have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Understand what is given and what is to be proved. Anything that comes after if is given. Anything that comes after then is to be proved. I'll repeat once again. Anything that comes after if is given. So what are we given? We are given that both pair of opposite angles are congruent. So this part is given. And what are we asked to prove? The sentence which is after then, that is to be proved. So we have to prove that it is a parallelogram. Okay. So let us write out what is given. In the quadrilateral, opposite angles are congruent. So for E, the angle is G. Okay. So we are given that angle E is congruent to angle G. And what is the other angle pair? That is H and F. Okay. So angle H is congruent to angle F. All right. And what are we asked to prove? We are asked to prove that this quadrilateral EFGH is a parallelogram. Okay, we have to prove this. So instead of this symbol, I'll write out the complete thing. We have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Now, how do we start the proof? We start with stating, this is the easiest way to prove it by using variables X and Y. Okay. So let angle E and angle G, they are opposite angles and they are equal. So we start with setting them as X and angle H and angle F as Y. So angle H and angle F as Y. Okay. Now we know that sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Okay. So sum of all of the angles is 360 degrees. That means angle E plus angle G plus angle H plus angle F, the total is 360 degrees. Now in place of these angles, we are going to replace them with the variables. Okay. So E is X. Instead of E, you see there is a X here. G is X. Instead of G, we can put up an X here. Okay. H is there. H is Y. And F, what is F? F is Y. So we are just replacing the angles with the variables. And the sum is 360 degrees. Okay. Now, when we are adding, we add the like terms, right? So X plus X will give us a 2X. So here in this box, there goes a 2. X plus X, that is 2X. Likewise, Y plus Y, that will be 2Y. And what is the sum? We write it as it is. This is 360. Now in this step, you can see that all the three terms, they are divisible by 2. So we are going to divide both the sides by 2. Okay, they have given us the direct step. Just check. 2x divided by 2 is x, 2y divided by 2 is y, and 360 divided by 2 is 180. So that's how we get this step. Okay, and we can replace back. What is x? X is g. And what is y? Y is h. Okay, intentionally we are using these two angles. Intentionally we are using the adjacent angles. Why are we doing that? Because we want C formation. Okay, by C formation we can say that since we have got 180 degrees, okay, we can say that the pair of angles is interior angle. C formation means interior angles. If the angles are interior, then we can say that the lines are parallel. And if the lines are parallel, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, that is how we are going to prove that this is a parallelogram. So we got the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degree. Therefore, these pair is called as interior angles. They satisfy C formation. They are interior angles. And therefore, what can we say? Therefore, HE is parallel to GF. Okay, HE is parallel to GF. This is parallel to this. Now, similarly, instead of using these two pair, we could have used other two pairs also, G and F. So, similarly, instead of G and H, we labeled this as X and X, this as Y and Y. So, instead of H, I can replace the Y with F also. So G plus F equals to 180 degrees. Since G plus F, these two angles are also alternate angles, we can see there is a C formation like this. Do you see, students? There is a C formation. So again, these two are, they are forming interior angles. Therefore, what can we say? Therefore, these two lines, they are parallel. Earlier, we proved that these two lines are parallel. Now, we are proving the other pair is also parallel. So, what have we got? We have got two pair of parallel sides. So, G and F. Since we are using G and F, the sides are GH and EF, they are parallel. So GH is parallel to EF. These two sides are parallel. How? By interior angle test for parallel lines. Since we have got two pairs of parallel sides, we can say that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. So the basic definition, we are using the basic definition of a parallelogram. The definition says if two pair of sides are parallel, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, we are using this. So anytime if you are asked to prove the theorems, okay, to prove the theorems, you have to prove that two pair of sides are parallel, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, and using these theorems, we are going to solve the exercise. All right, so these are the four additional properties which can be used to prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So the first property says, if so given a rectangle or a quadrilateral like this, if we are given that pair of opposite sides are congruent. So if we are given that these two pair of opposite sides, if they are congruent, then we can say that it's a parallelogram. That is the first property. Then second property says, for a given quadrilateral, if the opposite sides are congruent. Okay, this was for opposite sides. This is the second one. If the opposite angles are congruent, that is 1 is congruent to 2. Let me mark it in a different way. Okay, if the opposite angles, they are equal or congruent, then we can say that yes, this is a parallelogram. This is the first theorem. And then if the diagonals bisect each other, then also it is a parallelogram. So if for a given quadrilateral, we are given that the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect means what? These two diagonals, they are broken into two equal parts. Then also this is a parallelogram. This is the third property. And then the fourth property says, for a given quadrilateral, if the opposite sides are parallel and congruent, okay, they are parallel, only parallel is not enough. Only parallel is not enough. If they are parallel and congruent, only one pair, okay, only one pair. Concentrate. Here we are looking at only one pair. In the first and second, we are looking at two pair. Okay, if it's two pairs. All right. And for the fourth one, the last one, if only one pair, any one pair is parallel and congruent. For parallel, we use arrows. Okay. So these two arrows, it means that these two sides are parallel. And when I'm drawing these two lines, that means these two sides, they are congruent. If only one pair, any one pair is parallel and congruent, then we say that this is a parallelogram. So this is the fourth property. So using these four properties, we can prove that any given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. So with that, let us start with the first question of practice set 5.1. Okay. So before we move to call it, before we move to the actual questions from practice set, let us do few questions. Okay, let us look at few questions, and then we can move to the exercise. So for this question, what are we given and what are we asked to prove? We are given that PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, the bigger one is a parallelogram. We are given that the PQRS, that is a parallelogram. We are also given that M is the midpoint of PQ and N is the midpoint of RS. Now, be very attentive because this is a very standard proof and it has been asked in exam many times. Okay, so if PQRS is given to be a parallelogram, M is the midpoint, so label it accordingly. M is the midpoint, so of course is the midpoint of PQ, so PM is equal to NQ. N is the midpoint of side RS, so NS is equals to NR. And what are we asked to prove? Okay, whatever is given, we have written it here. After prove that, we have to prove these two things. So we have to prove that PMNS is this quadrilateral. We have to prove that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. Likewise, we have to prove that MQRN, this quadrilateral, is also a parallelogram. Okay. We have to prove that this is also a parallelogram. So how can we prove it? By using the four properties. Okay. By using any one of these four properties. All right. And I'll tell you one trick. Most of the times we are going to use the fourth property only. Okay, most of the times you're going to use the fourth property. In case if there is something in the diagram, there is something related to the diagonals, and you see that the diagonals they bisect each other, then the third property. If you see something related to the angles, okay, then the first property. So it depends. All right, you need to do a lot of practice and remember the properties nicely so that it becomes very easy on how to identify which property to be used. Okay, now for this one, since we are given something in relation with the sides, we are going to use the property number 4, that is if any one pair is parallel and congruent, then that is a parallelogram. Okay, we are going to use this property. So what are we given? That the bigger one is a parallelogram and these two are the midpoints. We have to prove that the upper one and the lower part, these two quadrilaterals, they are parallelogram. Okay, how do we begin? We start with saying that PQ is parallel to side SR. Okay, so we are going to prove that one pair is parallel and congruent. Okay, so since we are given that these two, this is a midpoint, we are going to refer to these two sides only, PQ and SR. That's the trick. Okay, so side PQ is parallel to side SR. How do we know this? Because we are given that PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, so yeah, since we are given that the complete thing is a parallelogram, therefore these two sides they are parallel and they are congruent also, right? So PQ is congruent to SR, and since these are midpoints, we can simply half both the sides. So multiply both the sides by half. So half of PQ, we are going to first prove the upper part, so we can say PM. Okay, so PM is congruent to SN. Half of, just notice, we are going to prove the upper end. That's why we are using half of PQ to be PM. Likewise, half of SR is SN. Okay, so we have proved that this pair is congruent. We have to prove that it is parallel also. Check if the complete side, if the complete sides they are parallel, of course the parts will also be parallel. So we have proved that PM is congruent to SN and PM is also parallel to SN. Okay, they are congruent and parallel. All right, they are congruent and parallel. Therefore, from 1 and 2, check. 1 says PM is parallel to SN and 2 says PM is congruent to SN, parallel and congruent. Therefore, what can we say? It is a parallelogram. Therefore, PM and Q is a parallelogram. Using the same method or the same steps, we can also prove that this one PQRN is also a parallelogram. All right. So we can say that similarly MQRN is a parallelogram. So no need to do all the steps again. We can use the word similarly in this case. Okay. Once again, I'll quickly repeat how we did the proof. We started with saying that these two sides PQ and PR, they are parallel because this is a parallelogram. Therefore, what we said, therefore the half parts PM is also parallel to SN. And next, PQ is congruent to SR. Therefore, half of it will also be congruent. Half of it is PM. So PM is congruent to SN. They are parallel and congruent pair. Therefore, PMNS, this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, and using the same method, we can prove that this lower one, that is MQRN, is also a parallelogram. All right, let us look at the second problem now. Points D and E are midpoints of the side AB and AC. Okay, so D is the midpoint of AB, so AD is equals to DB. Likewise, D is the midpoint of AC. Sorry, E is the midpoint of AC. When the word respectively is used, the first one corresponds to the first one and the second one corresponds to the second one. Okay. So D is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of AC. Okay. Therefore, we can say that AE is equal to EC. All right. Now, if before I draw that part, you can just look at this diagram and identify which property to use to prove that it is a parallelogram. Okay. Now, further, they have given that ED is also equal to DF. And what are we asked to prove? That AFBE is a parallelogram. Okay, I will highlight that one. AFBE is a parallelogram. So this one. AFBE. We have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Now, just by looking at the diagram, you can identify. Okay, where are the properties? Yes, look at these four diagrams. To prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, we can use any one of these. We can use any one of these four properties. Now, just by looking, you can see that this property is going to be used because the diagonals, they are bisecting each other. So in the diagram itself, you will be given a lot of hints. Just by looking at this, we can say, you can write out somewhere that we are going to use the property of diagonals. If the diagonals, they bisect each other, then we can say that it's a parallelogram. Okay. Now let's write out the proof. What are we given in this case? We are given that D is the midpoint. D is the midpoint of AB. Therefore, what are we given? AD is congruent to DB and also E is the midpoint of AC. Therefore, AE is congruent to EC. AE is congruent to EC and also we are given this thing, that is ED is equal to DF. Okay, it is marked already. ED is equal to DF. We are given these three things. Then what are we asked to prove? That, notice, prove that quadrilateral AFBE is a parallelogram. So we have to prove this. Okay, now let's fill in the boxes. Segment AB and EF are dash of the quadrilateral. AB and EF. Concentrate. AB and EF. They are the diagonals, isn't it? They are the diagonals of the quadrilateral AFBE. Next, AD is congruent to DB. What is the reason? We have to put the reason in this box. AD and DB, they are congruent. What is the reason? Because D is the midpoint of AC. We are given this because D is the midpoint of AB. Okay. Also, two segments, they are congruent by construction. Okay. So for this part, we are going to use this one because further we have to say that diagonals, they bisect each other. So they bisect each other means we have written AD and DB, AD and DB done. So we have to use this pair, ED and FD. Okay. So segment ED is congruent to FD. This is construction, which is there already in the question. Therefore, what can we say? The diagonals, they bisect each other. Since the diagonals bisect each other, we can say that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram by which test? This is by the diagonals property, right? Still, by the diagonals test. Okay, we need to write it as a diagonals test. Since the diagonals bisect each other, therefore this is a parallelogram. So just by looking at the diagram, one can identify it very easily. So I think we can look at one more question. Prove that every rhombus is a parallelogram. Now, every rhombus is a parallelogram. Concentrate again. There is one more. There is again, you should always think which property should I use? Which property should I use? Always this question should come to your mind. Okay. Now they are saying the rhombus. They are talking about a rhombus. All the rhombuses, they are parallelogram. Now rhombus means which figure comes into picture? Rhombus means what? All the sides, they are equal. Correct? So which property? When it is talking about all the sides, clearly we are going to use the first, this property, this second one property. That two pairs of opposite sides are congruent, then that is a parallelogram. Okay. So you should be very clear on how to select the property, because if you select the correct property, then it is very easy for you to prove. Okay. So this question, we are going to use the property that if the opposite sides are congruent, then it is a parallelogram. Okay. So first thing, what are we given? That this is a parallel, this is a rhombus. We have to prove that it is a parallelogram. Since it is a rhombus, we are given that all the sides are congruent. So AB is congruent to CD and BC is congruent to AD. All of them, they are congruent to each other. Okay. But what are we going to do? We have to group them up in this form. Okay. We have to group them up in this form. Therefore, AB is congruent to CD. Notice AB is congruent to CD and BC is congruent to AD. BC is congruent to AD. So we are just trying to put it in this format. That's all. The proof is finished in 2 steps. Okay. So all the sides, they are equal because it's a rhombus, but we are grouping them to show that the opposite sides are congruent. Since the opposite sides are congruent, this is a parallelogram. And the reason, opposite side test of parallelogram. Okay. Be very careful with the property and the reasoning also. Like in the earlier one, what was the reason? It was the diagonal test. Before this, what was the reason? It was this test. If one pair is parallel and congruent, then it's a parallelogram. All right. So with that, let us quickly recap on what we did in today's class. We started with revising what are the tests of parallel lines. How do we prove that lines are parallel? By using F formation, that is corresponding angles, by using alternate angles, that is Z formation, and by using interior angles, that is C formation, where the sum of angles is 180 degree. Using these formations, we can prove that the lines are parallel. Okay. And then we saw 4 properties on how to prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So the first property was, if the opposite angles, they are congruent. Look at the diagrams also. Okay. So if the opposite angles, they are congruent, then it's a parallelogram. If the opposite sides are congruent, then it is a parallelogram. If the diagonals, they bisect each other, the diagonals, they break each other into equal parts, then it is a parallelogram. And the last one, if any one pair, be very particular about this, if any one pair of opposite sides is parallel and congruent, okay, both parallel and congruent, then it's a parallelogram. So using any of these 4 properties, we can prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So that's all for today's class, students. I hope you have understood all the properties. Make sure you write out all the properties and practice the problems accordingly with proper reasoning.